Hello students. This week we're reading about religious diversity. The reading, titled Buddhism and Other Religions, is the Dalai Lama responding to questions about the relationship between Buddhism and other religions, the purpose of religion, the ethics of belief, and individuality. Let's consider the second question presented to the Dalai Lama. Is there any conflict between the Buddhist teachings and the idea of a creator God who exists independently from us? The Dalai Lama responded, "If we examine the ultimate goal of all the world's religions, then we find that they are all directed to the achievement of permanent human happiness. They emphasize that the true follower must always strive to be a better human being. The different world religions teach different doctrines on how to transform the person, and in this regard, they are the same." He goes on to say, from a philosophical viewpoint, the theory that God is a creator, permanent and almighty, is in contradiction to the Buddhist belief that the universe has no first cause, and hence no creator, nor can there be a permanently pure being. These views oppose. However, if we consider the purpose of the different philosophies, then we see that they are still the same. So this is interesting to consider, the relationship between the experience of everyday religious belief and commitment with the charge or the task of religious philosophy. Among the world religions, there is a difference in doctrine and religious philosophies. Religious philosophies attempt to explain how a religion's tenets or principles rationally correspond with reality. But insofar as the different doctrines all encourage people to be their best selves in their everyday experience, they share in an ultimate goal of belief. Then the Dalai Lama speaks to the variety of religious belief. He says, like different foods appeal to different people, so do different everyday religious experiences. Because of this, he says, the variety of religious philosophies is a beautiful and useful thing. For certain people, the idea of a creator God will benefit them and suit them, and therefore will be an effective method of spiritual growth. For others, the idea that there is no creator and that everything depends on oneself is a more appropriate method of spiritual growth. So this too is interesting. We might balk at the idea that our choosing a religious philosophy is a matter of preference. On page 597, the Dalai Lama said, "Different human beings have different mental dispositions." A mental disposition might be understood as a habit of seeing, or experiencing, or processing reality in our everyday lives. One of the ways we explain the diversity of all kinds of belief and religious belief is culture. Also, I think intellectual activity, or what we choose to study, can explain why we believe how we believe. Beliefs are the conclusion of human reasoning, and ultimately, how we practice thinking is how we end up thinking. Preferences are what we think we want, and what we want tends to be what we think is beneficial, useful, true, or real, and also often what we think will make us happy and good. The Dalai Lama believed people should religiously practice according to their own beliefs and their own traditions. They might not be on the path to gain Buddhist liberation, but if the followers of a different religion follow their own beliefs sincerely and truthfully, then they are likely to gain the experience that they are searching for. The Dalai Lama said, "It is enough that they are trying to become better human beings." When asked if he would encourage people who are dissatisfied with their particular religious way of life to seek Buddhism as an alternative, he acknowledged that this is a tricky question. He said, keeping in mind that human beings have different mental dispositions, and so different religious philosophies will be more suitable for some than others. We should all investigate the nature of our religious systems and the religious systems of others. He said the only way we can come to a proper conclusion as to what is most suitable for oneself is through comparative study. Hence, we look and we study, and we find a teaching that is most suitable to our taste. So, do you believe there is an ultimate religious truth or written religious philosophy that all persons should morally follow, or a set of principles that are capable of bringing individuals a kind of universally superior happiness? The Dalai Lama described the Buddhist liberation in which a mind that understands the sphere of reality annihilates all defilements in that sphere of reality. He talked about this in relation to the idea of salvation or a beautiful paradise. Do you think one of these motivations is true and the other is false? If so, how do you propose you methodologically describe that truth in a convincing way, considering the difference of culture and preference among individual persons? Another question: are we more correctly individual in our religious experiences, or are we more correctly a member of a larger body of belief? Okay, that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Message me with any questions.